Hi guys, I'm Abhinav. This is my project Interceptor 650, and today in this video I want to talk to you about this exhaust that I've been running for the last 4 months. This is an SS Motocorp 2x2 full system exhaust. Till now, for about a year and a half, 2 years, I was running a 2x1 by the same brand, SS Motocorp, and I absolutely loved the exhaust. It gave my bike a certain character, but I've always wanted that classy look from my motorcycle, and I thought that, a 2x2 design, that is something that would complete the look of the motorcycle. So finally, the owner of the company, Saurabh Shirke, he designed this exhaust, and today I'll tell you why I think this exhaust might just be the best exhaust system available in the market for the Interceptor 650. First and foremost, this is a full system. That means not just the end cans, the headers have also been changed. Now, what that essentially does is it drops a lot of weight from your motorcycle. This entire exhaust system weighs only about 10 odd kilos, and that's a weight saving of about 7.5 kilos over the stock motorcycle and its ugly ass exhaust that you get. I think that's pretty significant. It's a significant amount of weight saving. Dropping 7 kilos from a bike is not easy, and it makes the motorcycle extremely agile. Now, I know most of you guys who are watching this are probably already running slip-on exhausts, and I think slip-on exhausts sound beautiful on this bike, no matter what slip-on exhaust it might be. The nature of this engine is such that it sounds good whether it's running the stock end cans, whether it's running slip-ons, no matter from whichever manufacturer you might get them. You might get an AEW, you might get a Red Rooster, Power Rage, Good Saver, whatever you might get, it's going to sound nice. Such is the nature of this engine. Now, if that is the case, then why do you think, or why would I want to recommend this full system to you? It has additional benefits. Now, a slip-on gives you about a bhp and a half to 2 bhp of gain. This system right here, this will give you an additional 4.7 bhp. Now, that's a significant amount of power increase on a motorcycle. That's about, I think when this was dynoed on the stock exhaust, I think this motorcycle made about 36, 38 horsepower. So imagine almost 5 horsepower on top of that. I think that's the biggest advantage that a full system can give you. You pair it with a Powertronic, put a quick shifter on. A good thing is there is a map that's already available for this exhaust. So fueling is perfect. What usually happens is you have an exhaust system, but if it's not dyno tested, dyno tuned, your fueling can be off. It can run a little rich, it can run a little lean. That's not the case here. This exhaust, it just runs perfectly. So yeah, so that's advantage number one, an additional 4.7 bhp. There's a 2x2 as well, which I was running earlier. That's a little bit more powerful. It saves a little bit more weight. So that's about 5.5 bhp. And that's only about 6 kilos. This is about 10 kilos because it's got 2 header pipes that are coming, from the engine to the end cans. There are 2 end cans. So it's slightly heavier, but it still ends up saving a tremendous amount of weight over the stock motorcycle. Now, the sound. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how good the sound of this motorcycle is. For about 3.5 months, I ran it with DB killers in, and I used it to commute to office and back during the winter months. And then now that summer is here, with the DB killers in, this motorcycle sounds just a tad louder than the stock exhaust, and I think that's just perfect. It's still under the DB limit. However, no aftermarket exhaust is legal in India, so you might have to consider that if you decide to go in for this. But it's not loud enough. At least with the DB killers, I don't think a cop will ever even notice the fact that you have aftermarket exhaust running on your motorcycle until and unless they come looking for exhausts. So that's a big advantage. But if you take the DB killers off, which I have done for the last 2.5 weeks, my God, it puts an ear-to-ear grin on my face every single time I am out riding this motorcycle. So, you know, let's say I'm cruising, I'm easily cruising at 50, 60 in the sixth gear. I just open the throttle and it just goes bop, 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 and just the revs climb and the exhaust sounds so sweet. Half of the times I'm just dropping the exhaust, listening to the little pops and bangs and burbles, and then just giving it a little bit of gas, and then it just picks up. I will put out a separate video wherein I show you the sound of this exhaust, just the complete sound of the exhaust and nothing else in this video. In this video, I just want to talk about why this exhaust is fantastic. There's more to it. The looks of this exhaust, I think it looks rather butch. Most exhausts are a little bit too slim for the Interceptor, the slip-ons. This, I think, is the perfect conical tapered shape. The header pipes and the mid pipe, it's slightly, the dia slightly larger than the stock pipes. So it just adds that character to the look of the bike. It's not a true 2x2 exhaust. It is linked by an H pipe close to the headers. Now, the logic behind that is it helps, like if I tell you in very layman terms, because even I understand it in the very basic layman terms, the firing order of this engine is 270 degrees. So when the first piston fires and, you know, the exhaust gases, they exit the header, 270 degree rotation later, the second piston of the crank later, the second piston also fires, and then the exhaust gases are emitted from the other header. The H pipe, it helps excavate those gases in a more efficient manner. And honestly, it really doesn't matter to you and me how the gases are excavated. As long as it works, it works. So that is why it's connected with an H pipe. Now, that's not just all. There's a very trick thing about this exhaust that I'm going to tell you now. This is only going to apply for people who, probably 1% of the population who like this, who buy the Interceptor, maybe less than 1%. This exhaust is big bore ready because the dia of the headers is already slightly bigger. It's been designed keeping in mind somebody who would like to eventually down the road put an 865cc SNS big bore kit in. Your exhaust will never feel choked, it'll never feel throttled. There's another thing that I want to tell you now. The price of this exhaust. Now, if you buy slip-ons in the market, most slip-ons, they range from 12,000. The mild steel variants, they start from 10,000, 12,000. And then the more popular ones in stainless steel, they go up till about 22,000 rupees. This exhaust system only costs 27,500 rupees. So, apart from getting the two end caps that you would have got for 20,000 rupees, by paying an additional 7,500 rupees, you get a full system. You get the headers, it's stainless steel, 304, it's never going to rust, it's never going to give you any problem. There are no ground clearance issues, it sits very flush to the chassis. I mean, I really don't know, it probably sounds like an advertorial at this point of time. But it works, man, it works. I've been running it for a little over 4 months now, and I couldn't be happier with this exhaust. The details of SS Moto would be flashing on the screen right now. If you think you like this exhaust, if you think you would want to give it a try, give Saurabh a call. I really think this is a must-buy exhaust for anybody who wants a little bit more power, a little bit more character from their motorcycle. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.